irresistible sorrow.
And they murmur low. But Priam, raising his voice, called across to Helen.
Come over here, child. Sit in front of me. As you can see, your husband of long ago. Your kinsmen and your people. I don't blame you. I hold the gods to blame. They are the ones who brought the war upon me. Devastating war against the Achaeans. Here. Come closer. Tell me the name of that tremendous fighter. Look, who's that Achaean there? So stark and grand. Many others afield are much taller, true, but I've never set eyes on one so regal, so majestic. That man must be a king.
And Helen, the radiance of women, answered Priam. I fear you so, dear father, and dread you too. If only death had pleased me then, grim death, that day I followed your son to Troy, forsaking my marriage bed, my kinsman, and my child, my favorite now full grown, and the lovely comradeship of women of my own age. Death never came, so now I can only waste away in tears. But about your question, yes, I have the answer. That man is Atreus' son of Agamemnon, lord of empires, both a mighty king and a strong spearman too. He used to be my kinsman, all that I am. There was a world, or did I dream it?
Her voice broke, but the old king, lost in wonder, cried out, "How lucky you are, son of Atreus, child of fortune. Your destiny's so blessed. Look at the vast Achaean armies you command. Years ago, I visited Phrygia, rife with vineyards, and saw the Phrygian men with their swarming horses, their multitudes, the armies of Atreus, Migdon like a god, encamped that time along the Sangarius riverbanks, and I took my stand among them, comrade in arms, the day the Amazon struck, a match for men in war. Not even those hordes could match these hordes of yours, your fiery-eyed Achaeans." And citing Odysseus next, the old king questioned Helen. "Come, dear child, tell me of that one too. Now, who is he? Shorter than Atreus' son Agamemnon, clearly, but broader across the shoulders, through the chest. There, you see? His armor's heaped on the green field, but the man keeps ranging the ranks of fighters like a ram. Yes, looks to me like a thick-fleeced bellwether ram, making his way through a big mass of sheep flocks, shining, silver gray."
And Helen, the child, just replied, "That's Laertes' son, the great tactician Odysseus. He was bred in the land of Ithaca, rocky ground, and he's quick at every treachery under the sun, the man of twists and turns."
Helen paused, and the shrewd Antenor carried on her story. "So they prayed as tall Hector, eyes averted under his flashing helmet, shook the two lots hard, and Paris' lot left out. The troops sat down by rank, each beside his horses, pawing the ground, a blaze of war gear lay. And now one warrior, harnessed, burnished armor on his back, magnificent Paris, fair-haired Helen's consort. First, he wrapped his legs with well-made greaves fastened behind the heels with silver ankle clasps, and next he strapped a breastplate round his chest, his brother, like Chaon's, that fitted him so well. Then over his shoulder Paris slung his sword, the fine bronze blade with its silver-studded hilt. Then the shield strap and his sturdy massive shield, and over his powerful head he set a well-forged helmet. The coarse hair crest atop a tossing, bristling terror. And last he grasped a spear that matched his grip. And following step by step the fighting Menelaus strapped on armor too. Both men, armed at opposing sides of the forces, into the no man's land between the lines they strode, glances menacing, wild excitement seizing all who watched, the stallion-breaking Trojans and Argive men-at-arms. Striking a stand on the dueling ground just cleared, they brandished spears at each other, tense with fury. And suddenly, Paris hurled. His spear's long shadow flew, and the shaft hit Menelaus' round shield, full center. Not pounding, though. The brazen point bent back in the tough armor. But his turn. Menelaus reared with a bronze lance and a prayer to Father Zeus. Zeus, King, give me revenge. He wronged me first. Illustrious Paris, crush him under my hand. So even among the men to come, a man may shrink from wounding the host who showers him with kindness. Shaking his spear, he hurled, and its long shadow flew, and the shaft hit Paris' round shield full center. Straight through the gleaming hide the heavy weapon drove, ripping down and in through the breastplate finely worked, tearing the war shirt. Close by Paris' flank it jabbed, but the Trojans swerved aside and dodged black death. So now Menelaus drew his sword with silver studs, and hoisting the weapon high, he brought it clashing down on the metal ridge. The blade smashed where it struck. Jagged shatters flying had dropped from Atrides' hand, and the hero cried out, scanning the blank skies, Father Zeus! No god's more deadly than you! Here I thought I'd punish Paris for all his outrage. Now my sword is shattered right in my hands. Look, my spear flew from my grip for nothing. I never hit him. Lunging at Paris, he grabbed his horsehair crest. He swung him round, started to drag him into the Argive lines, and now the braided chin strap holding his helmet tight was gouging his soft throat. Paris was choking, strangling. Now he'd have hauled him off and won undying glory. But Aphrodite, Zeus's daughter, quick to the mark, snapped the rawhide strap, cut from a bludgeoned ox, and the helmet came off empty in Menelaus' fist. Whirling it around, the fighter sent it flying into his Argive, scrambling fast to retrieve it, and back at his man he sprang, enraged with brazen spear, mad for the kill. But Aphrodite snatched Paris away. Easy work for God. Wrapped him in swirls of mist and sent him down in his bedroom, filled with scent. Then off she went herself to summon Helen, and found her there on the steep jutting tower with a troop of Trojan women clustered round her. The goddess reached and tugged at her fragrant robe, whispering low, for all the world like an old crow, the old weaver, who when they lived in Lacedaemon, wove her fine woolens, and Helen held her dear. Like her to the life, immortal love invited.
Quickly, Paris is calling for you. Come back home. There he is in the bedroom. The bed with inlaid rings. He's glistening in all his beauty and his rose. You never dream he has come from fighting a man. You think he's off to a dance who slipped away from the dancing stretched out at ease.
Enticing so that the heart in Helen's breast began to race. She knew the goddess at once. The long lithe neck, the smooth full breasts, and the fire in those eyes.